It's important to point out that right once I unleashed that cough, a hole in the stratosphere opened up, and all hell broke loose, but I fought things off with my fabulous coughing at the same time because they could not stand the noise. Their eardrums were shattered. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And therefore, I scared all the hellish demons from the other world away, so that way I could continue playing this game. Yeah, that's my excuse, and I'm gonna be sticking with it. I'm sorry, I'm zooming forward right there because I am expecting there to be a secret there, but maybe it only spawns once I run forward. Oh yeah, there's also some health right here if you desperately need it. I consider myself in need of desperate medical attention, so I'm gonna shamelessly pick it up and then continue on my merry way. Okay, there is another miscolored wall right there, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and destroy that in just a brief moment. First of all, hang on. I'm quite certain, I'm quite positive there's supposed to be a secret right here. Because I do remember it being here. There's supposed to be like a guide leading out of a window. I'm gonna leave it at that. There's supposed to be a guide leading out of a window somewhere around this area, but we are coming close to the end of the corridors. So while I'm here, I'm gonna enter this teleporter to the Embryo Museum, which is actually a really, really cool looking area because it has these tanks, and inside these tanks are a lot of cool things. You can see there's Ugzan, and there's also another Ugzan right here, and there's a giant question mark right here with horns. So yeah, this is kind of just a really interesting little secret that also has a couple of ammunition packs. Now running forward in certain areas of this place will also spawn some Highlander reptiloids. I am going to be a little bit careful about that. There's also that series of damage, which we're probably going to be saving for later once we leave this place. That all being said, we're just going to run forward, and I think running over here might spawn those enemies. But we can also get a pretty neat look at some of these Ugzans, which are really not enemies, they're just lifeless models that sit inside these giant glass tanks. But oh well, it's still a cool secret, and this area is surprisingly dark. I thought that firing rockets over here would light the place up, but such is not the case, evidently enough. That's a little bit disappointing, but what do I know? What do I know? Yeah, I remember they're spawning. That's odd. I kind of figure. There he is. I think it spawns once you pick up the health. So, you could just use the cannon, since these guys do have a crap load of health, but at the same time, the cannon is still a pretty good weapon against them. I probably could have picked up that serious damage to deal with these guys, because they're getting kinda close. I think that might have been the best idea for this place, so if I die, I die, but I'll at least get to pick up those power-ups once again. I kinda didn't mean to spit right there. I sorta spat on my screen without meaning to. But these guys do have to pause to shoot at the same time, so if you could cover enough ground, then they might not get a chance to punch you like that one person did. I am in a bit of a sticky situation though because I'm cornered, but they can't walk in here at the same time, so you could probably abuse this spot if you really desperately needed to. And I could go ahead and pick up these power-ups now. I did waste a lot of cannonballs, that's true, but at the same time, I still have minigun ammunition, and serious damage with a minigun is also pretty amazing, so yeah, there is that. I'm not really sure why that's a giant question mark with arms and horns. It could just be because it was a concept, just to give you an idea of mystery of when the next Ugzan is going to be in the game. And truth of the matter is, spoiler warning, in Serious Sam 3, you guys, we fight another Ugzan, so be prepared for that. But now, we can go ahead and use this power up against these lava golems, these reptiloids, and I believe there's also a cannon out there in the distance. Yeah, there are a couple of cannons, but once again we have serious damage, so that kind of takes care of them somewhat easily. I'm trying to remember where most of these cannons are. I'm not sure if a couple of them are like arced on some of the platforms up above. Also, the kamikaze, the harpies, they're carrying kamikazes. We haven't seen that since level 2 of this game. That's kind of surprising if I have to be honest. I didn't really expect that. But yeah, the serious damage is really good for taking care of all those enemies that are just right in front of you, and the minigun makes short work of them. So, this should give me the opportunity to go back and see if there's anything I missed, because I know I might have missed a couple of secrets here or there. And to avoid this, I'm probably going to pause the recording so that way I can reach the areas where I forgot where said secrets were. So, I'll be right back. So, I went back and checked to see if there was anything conspicuous that I missed. I know I missed one secret that was sort of hidden in a secret wall. Then again, that could have been in Serious Sam HD only, I'm not entirely sure, but I just noticed when I was walking here, there's a very fine looking ass right there. If you shoot said ass, you are given a secret power-up. Yeah, that's it. It's an invulnerability power-up that might be useful for crossing this area because those heads, indeed, they shoot fireballs. It is kind of important to point out that in this area, I specifically recall there just being a guy hanging out of this window right here. If you shot him, you would get a secret power-up. I don't really know what I've done wrong, per se. I thought there would be some sort of, like, target that you'd have to shoot for it to be activated. But then again, as I've said multiple times, I have not played this level in forever. But I think it's supposed to give you a serious damage power-up as far as I know. I'm a little bit too lazy to look it up as of the current time, but if you can imagine there being a guy just sitting out here, if you shoot him, you'd probably get a serious damage power-up, and that would be really, really nice. But all we really got was a butt, so we shot the butt, and yeah, we got our vulnerability power-up with it, so we're just going to abuse it by running forward here, taking absolutely zero damage. I think there might also spawn a couple enemies here, although I'm not entirely sure. That could be up for debate. Yeah, there's these two people, and if you shoot these two scorpions, then that's basically it. You passed that area, well done, and you can enter this next part of the level, which already starts off with a bang because you have a cannon. But thankfully the cannon is pretty easy to deal with. Now, if you couldn't tell what the gimmick of this area is, per se, then I'll give you a hint. You're basically going to be bouncing back and forth, shooting at enemies, and it throws marsh hoppers at you. And the marsh hoppers, they have a tendency to bounce around, as you might possibly know. I'm going to use the flamethrower for a little bit, just to be safe. I mean, it does spawn biomechs. Eventually, it will show some red robots, and you might want to consider using something that's a bit better than a flamethrower, and under those circumstances. But for the time being, we're just going to be using it to the best of our abilities. And since these guys have kindly made their way over, I'm going to take a little bit of damage, unintentionally, but I'm also going to burn them to death. Once the major biomechs show up, I'll probably be switching to the cannon. I mean, I think it happens sometime after you get rid of all the marsh hoppers. I could be wrong, I could be right. You never exactly know with me, because I have not played this game in a while, you guys. I cannot emphasize that point enough. And I think that dude's getting stuck over there, so maybe I could shoot him with the pistol. Oh, did you see that air shot right there? That was a pretty amazing air shot. Trix has a message for me. Oh, jump pads. Sam, you never cease to amaze me. The way you showed them. My circuits are buzzing. I should calm down now. Anyways, watch out for these jump pads in front of you. They can help you, but you can also get killed in short order. Yeah, something along those lines. I didn't really word that properly. Okay. And now, it starts sending out clear skeletons. And clear skeletons are easily dispatched of with the miniature gun. And there we go, what did I tell you? There are the biomechs. Now, you might want to consider trying to shoot the rockets out of the air, since the biomechs tend to be pretty nasty with their habits of rocket firing. But thankfully, if you're stuck in mid-air, then the biomechs will shoot in that exact direction, and as such, the rockets have a higher chance of missing you. And that is really, really good. So you might want to consider just bouncing on the bounce pads. Chances are you should be fine, as that's the only biomech's means of attacking you. Although then again, you might get hit by the unlucky rocket on the occasion, and that could be your downfall, and I do apologize if that strategy did not work out for you. I couldn't get that health. Oh well. Oh my god, I just lost a lot of health. That wasn't part of the plan. I'll be honest, that was not part of the plan. So, I'm gonna avoid using the bounce pads this time. Oh boy. But as you can see right there, shortly after biomechs spawn, then these dudes spawn. Rather suddenly. I do not recall them carrying kamikazes. I'll be perfectly honest about this. But you all know what this means. If you bounce along with the kamikazes, then of course they're gonna bounce along with you. And that makes for a very fun bouncy castle ride. Also a pretty haphazard one, in case you couldn't tell. But the Harpies, they don't exactly partake in the bouncing, they just like to fly around and such, and it can be pretty easy to take them out as long as you have bullets. I don't exactly have many bullets left, but I have shotgun shots, so there is that. I do recall that eventually they're going to start sending out a couple of really nasty reptiloids up on these walls, I guess. That's what I remember, at least. First it spawns these Harpies, I know that much. It spawns the Harpies, and then it spawns these dudes. So I'm going to be using the laser gun to the best of my abilities. If you stick to one wall, then chances are the reptiloids will not be able to see you, but on the other side of the wall, the other reptiloids will be able to see you, and yeah, if that pattern confuses you enough, let me just put it like this. You better just stay on one side of the wall if you want things to be more manageable. However, the Harpies can be a little bit annoying to deal with at the same time, so take caution in them, and you should make it out of it just fine. I know I'm not showing my skills very well with this area, and for that I do apologize, but can you really blame me? I mean, I haven't played this level in years. Well, not years, like, just not in a very long time, I guess I should say. If I were to say years, that would be an extremely, extremely long time. I really want to pick up that health, but the game's not letting me, so I'm probably just gonna have to go for that health in the center of the map, I guess you could say, in the center of this room. Or I could just get bounced around like this, and everyone's gonna have a fun time. But, nope. Nope, fine. I'll play along with your silly little game. Serious Sam, I'll just go ahead and bounce on these. But I really kinda do want those power-ups at the same time. So, I'm sorry for wasting your time on this, but it's necessary for me. So, meh. I'm gonna use as many quick saves as possible to get this done. Pick up this. And quick save right here, and then pick up this health. And then if I bounce right here on this pad, I get 50 health, or 50 armor, I guess I should say. I guess its armor is sort of like health. It's like an extra protection layer of health, really. I can't go through this door. I can go through this really, really tiny door, so there is that. And this is the Grand Cathedral. I need to cough again. Give me a second. Now, walking forward right here, they give you a bit of cannonball ammunition, and the reason for that is this dude. It probably would be best if you had saved a series bomb for this area, because that would take care of this guy pretty easily, but then again, unlike in that embryo museum, we're not fighting two of these at the same time. And this guy gives you kind of a bit more space to run around, so you could probably take care of him fairly easily. Just try to avoid getting hit by his projectiles, and you should be fine. Really, that's all I have to say about it. You should be fine. Cathedral of Sacred Blood is only 2 miles away from us. We still have to cross this area, which looks pretty uninviting. I can see a small fortification from here, and I suggest we head there. It will be easier to defend ourselves in case we get attacked. No sign of the Grail yet.